Hello, 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 my dear seeds of Silvertree. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this week's Rune reading. Welcome to the channel, my channel, Runes of Silvertree. Thank you so much for being here with me. So the title of this is The Mysteries of Mercury, Melancholia. Okay? Mercury is going to go in retrograde, and I think by next weekend, so May 29th. So we're probably in the shadow period right now. So all of my empaths out there, if you're feeling it, okay, if you're feeling it already, it's okay. All right. So I did a cleansing meditation before this, and this is the symbol, this is the sigil that popped up, okay? And I automatically got the an image of tears of fire, and I saw literally someone, every time someone was crying, their tears were so hot that they would burn into their cheeks, and their eyes were burned out, okay? Their sockets. Where all I saw was bloody, empty sockets and tears and trails of burns on both sides, on both cheeks. Now I know that's very gruesome, but that's what I'm getting for the human collective. This is the message for you all that I'm seeing. So tears of flame, tears of fire. And then I'm getting that this is connected to the conflict between Israel and Palestine, and that one can cry so many tears until there's no tears left, right? Until those tears turn into dried, cracked, empty valleys that once were, full of meadows and joy and happiness and smiles, is now full of rage and deep sadness that no water can quench, no water can put out. So it's very sad what's taking place with what's happening in the Middle East. I have a personal connection with that culture. I was raised in that culture, in a Middle Eastern culture. I grew up as a Muslim in a very Western white Christian society. And I experienced my own ups and downs with that when I was practicing the faith of Islam. And so the tears of flame, tears of fire, okay, that to me is very symbolic to anger and rage. And we're entering deeper into the season of summer, right? The summer solstice, I know, is in June 20th or 21st of this year. The earth is, heating up, right? We're entering into the warmer season, but the planet is also warming up. The planet is also changing and shifting and moving. And, with movement, it causes that's the increasing speed of energy. And with the increasing speed of energy, there's heat. Okay, it's hot, it's warm. And with the element of fire, okay, with the element of fire, there's passion and then anger, right? There's passion on one side and then anger on the other, all right? And I believe that Mercury is going to be in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is in the sign or the element of air. So we have that air, fire, air, fire, air, fire. Air is representation of communication. Mercury is the god of communication. Wednesday is the day of Mercury, the day of the god Mercury, of communication, of conversation, of telepathy, of reconnecting, revisiting, right? Air. The like our cell phones give off frequencies through the air. Radio frequencies, you listen to your favorite song through the air. It traveling, okay? Traveling, communication, that is what I'm receiving at this moment. Be aware with this fire energy though that's coming up in this reading, that you are aware of the words that you speak, okay? We use air to speak, right? We breathe in, we inhale, we exhale speech, right? Speech, energy from our mouths. And at times with fire, that fire energy is very emotional, very passionate. Don't get lost. Don't let your words create tears of fire in other people during this time, during Mercury retrograde. Okay, now I'm being pulled to speak about melancholia. Melancholia is an old word, okay, for or describing a state of mind or state of being for a person who is going through, in today's language, a season of depression, right? Racing thoughts, lethargy or sleeplessness. You're not making sense when you're speaking. You're all over the place, okay? Melancholia is, to me, is a very heavily air tied to the air element. When you because we are all element or alchemists, so we are masters of fire, masters of water, masters of air, masters of earth, masters of the ether, of spirit. We are the star, right? So but we have seasons where one element is stronger than the other, okay? Where one element or two elements are stronger within us and other elements are weaker, right? For me, air is, personally, air is my weaker. It's a weaker element for me. So it's more of, this is a down season for me in the season of air. And it can be kind of tricky because it's like, I want to move quickly, and wind can carry you, can pick you up very quickly and drop you very quickly, right? And air also, to me, is of mind, okay? We use air to communicate, right? We use air for thinking thoughts. It's moving. And I say with the mentat, with the mind, with your mentality, it's connected to air, because we can't see our thoughts and we can't see our feelings, right? We cannot see our thoughts, we cannot see our feelings with the naked eye. We have to train ourselves to be able to do that. We have to remember ourselves to be able to tune into that type of channeling. So on the day-to-day basis, we are powered by the unseen. The unseen rules the seen. So your thoughts and your feelings rule your current now, your current reality, your current present moment. So in this season of Gemini, in this Mercury retrograde, right? Gemini is very talkative, very dualistic, very just multiple. What's the joke? It's like Geminis are known for switching their moods very quickly, or their persona very quickly. But again, if you are experiencing, or when you will experience melancholia, because melancholia is very sneaky, right? Like the wind, you don't feel it, and then all of a sudden it's there and it picks up, right? And with this symbol here, okay, I'm trying to see where's the connection with melancholia for this. Okay, I'm being asked to pull 2 runes here for clarification. Okay. So we have the triangle, or the womb, right? This is symbolic for the Holy Trinity, the womb, feminine energy, 3 numerology, okay? And then I pulled this, which is actually symbolic for the wind energy, the broken arrow. So I did a reading on this recently, okay? So if you can see that, there's an energy standing very strong and powerful in the middle, but then it has a lot going on through it. That's that wind energy, okay? So, okay, I'm trying to see here. So, as you can see here, right, we have that water, the tears are water, flame is fire, okay? And that's what I'm seeing here. So when you're in communication in this season of the wind, right? This wind energy that's coming through very, very strongly with the Mercury energy, be aware of the water, fire elements. You know, the emotions behind your words, okay? The passion behind your words or anger behind your words. If you need to express yourself this time when you're reconnecting with people, okay, or situations or narratives that come back, they always do during Mercury retrograde, okay? Be sure, just be present. If you have to express anger, this flame here, I see, if you have to express anger, do so, but be mindful of what you say. And that every word carries frequency, right? It carries a frequency, it gives out a vibration. Okay? The phrase singing in the wind. All right? Some of you, I feel, you're screaming at the top of your lungs, and it's like singing in the wind. You're screaming in the wind, and the wind is overpowering you. Okay? It's overpowering you. And at that moment, you know, let go. You need to let go. If the wind is that powerful and is trying to carry you away and you're screaming at it, let go. Let go. Okay, that's what I'm getting. That's a lyric from Sting's, one of Sting's songs from the Police, the band. It's like singing in the wind or writing on the surface of a lake. So singing in the wind and writing on the surface of a lake. All right, no matter what you do, you're not able to get your thought across in the purest way. And Mercury retrograde can do that. Everything gets really muddy, or there's miscommunication somewhere where you're not being heard, you're not being understood, you're not being felt. Singing in the wind, right? You're not being heard. Or writing on the surface of a lake. If you're writing on the surface of a lake, nothing's taking form because in water it's very flowy, right? So if you're in this space, especially if you're a creative, okay? So if you're an artist, if you're a creative, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're trying to make plans right now, obviously during Mercury season, be very careful with that. You might want to be mindful of this symbol here. Okay? Don't make any, because you're going to feel pulled to go left, you're going to feel pulled to go right, and you're just at a standstill and you're like, what do I do? Okay? And so that's what I'm getting. All right, I'm being asked to pull 2 more now. 2 more symbols. Okay. All right, here. Oh, and here again. Frequency. This is symbolic for frequency. You see that? You see the waves? Frequency, that wind energy. Be mindful of that while you wait, while you take your time, while you make your tally marks, okay? While you're sitting and waiting Focus on expanding your frequency. Okay? Expanding that, getting in tune with your vibrations that you're putting out. Because Mercury retrograde is a time to pause. You know, if you must make a decision, if you must make a final decision, okay, I'm being asked. Well, two more. If you're asked, if you're having to make a final decision, meaning you need to move, or you need to quit a job, or you need to leave a relationship, be solid in the decision. This is the wild boar rune, okay? You see that? Be rooted and grounded in the decisions that you make. Do not hesitate. Okay? You walk through that door. You walk through that door. Don't hesitate if you have to make a move. Okay? I think that is, and I feel that that's all that there is. So, again, I'm going to say this. I'm going to wrap this message up. In this Mercury retrograde in Gemini, when it comes to the energy of melancholia, okay, a lot of the time during Mercury retrograde, we have to revisit the past. And sometimes we think we've grown, we think we've learned from our past lessons. And sometimes we think back on these past experiences. We think we've forgiven someone. We think we've moved on. We think we've expanded out of a situation. And guess what? You have. Give yourself a fucking break. You have. You've done the work. You've forgiven. You've let go. Okay? And when in this season of Mercury retrograde, when the past pops its head up again, okay, let it. Let it. You hear from somebody that you thought you let go, let them pop in. Okay? Let them pop in. You get triggered by something that you thought you've healed from, you have, let it pop in. Why? Because you've done the work. Okay? You've been very thorough and you've done the work. If you feel in your heart that you have some lingering things that you need to purify, you know, water baths are great. Fire rituals are great. Okay? If it's something incredibly emotional, I suggest doing a water ritual, taking a water bath. If it's something incredibly toxic, I mean really bad for you, okay, use this season in Mercury retrograde to burn it. I would highly recommend you make a little fire pit somewhere, or get a cauldron, and you do your work and let that go and burn it out of your space until you feel it's done what it needs to do. All right? There's no problem with things coming up again in your path when you know your season, when you understand your cycles, when you understand your narratives and your stories. So that is all I'm going to say. I hope you receive this message with the utmost love and respect. Thank you so much for being here and listening to this message for you and for the human collective, to my Israeli and Palestinian brothers and sisters. I love you. We are all one. You are all one. We are all one. Okay? Thank you so much. Please, if you want to if you would like a personal reading, please leave a comment below, or send me a personal message at www.silvertreesounds.com. Please visit my second YouTube channel called Sounds of Silvertree, SOS, and listen to relaxing, experimental, spiritual music that I have posted there. Thank you so much.